Public Q&A presents Ask Reddit question. What is something you just don't get? Jack being another name for John. Or Dick for Richard. Like, how the fuck did we come to that conclusion? It's an old Timmy rhyming scheme. You'd shorten a name, and then replace it with a rhyme. So William becomes Will becomes Bill, or Richard becomes Rick becomes Dick. That's why you never meet a Dicard or a Billiam. The shortening was part of the name game. There was Chaz for Charles, popular back in the day but not really done anymore. And Chuck from Charles. Go figure. So Chucky and Chaz Finster from Rugrats are technically both Charles. I am a bit embarrassed that I know that. There's an episode of Rugrats where either Chaz wins the lottery or comes into some money, I forget which, and buys a nice house, and puts a plaque on the gate, and it reads Charles Finster ESQ. Yo! Now I remember. I remembered an old Rugrats VHS I had a long time ago. It had 3 episodes. The first was a Thanksgiving episode and the last was one where the kids made, like, their own movies, but I couldn't remember what the middle episode was. Yep, Chucky is Charles Finster Jr. There must have been a Richard who was such a dick that everyone with that name is now Dick. Right? It's like people calling William Bill. Oh, I remember reading a thing about this. In a form of Dutch, John was Jan, and then there was a suffix that was appended to various names as a kind of cutesy thing kin, so Jankin. Then, when this traveled, with French nasalization Jankin became Jackin, which got shortened to Jack. So you're saying Jack and Cox could be out there. And Peggy for Margaret. Margaret, Maggie, Meggie, Peggy, Peggy. Some nicknames are just shortening and some are what rhymes. That still makes no sense to me. Lots of Margarets, so you needed lots of nicknames. Elizabeth. Eliza, Liza, Liz, Lizzie, Lizzie, Lisa, Beth, Betty, Bessie, Betsy, Lisbeth, Lizard, Breath, Ellie, Elise, Lisa, Libby, Tibby, Elsie, Bet, Bess. It's crazy. Hi, my name is Elizabeth, but you can call me Lizard Breath. How a sailing boat can sail into the wind. It's basically just angling the sail, so that the force of the wind pushes the boat one way while the rudder of the boat is angled to push a force in the opposite direction, making it go straight. That's not quite exact, but it's how my grandfather explained it to me a while back. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's 2 modes of propulsion with a sailing boat. When you're going downwind, the sail acts like a parachute and pushes you through the water. When you're going upwind, it acts like a wing instead. The low-pressure zone of air created by the sail means that the boat is sucked along, rather like how a wing lifts an airplane into the air. You still can't sail directly into the wind though. There's a zone called the no-go zone that's different for every boat, which marks the steepest angles you can go into the wind before the wing effect is lost and you can't steer any further upwind. There's also the effect of the water acting on the boat's hull. Almost all sailing boats have a dagger board, sentry board, or keel to resist sideways motion through the water, as well as a rudder, or you can't. At least probably not in the way you might be thinking. I haven't been sailing for a super long time, so someone can correct me if I am wrong. You can't sail directly into the wind, but you can sail at a 45 degrees angle from the wind and zigzag upwind. You can kind of think of a sailboat as a sideways airplane. The sail is one wing and the keel is the other wing. So you have both the wind and the water acting as 2 forces at work. Imagine you take a marble and put it between your thumb and finger. Pretend your thumb is the wind and your finger the water. If you were to squeeze the marble, you'll be putting force on each side. Squeeze hard enough, it will shoot straight out of your fingers. It will go in a direction that neither your thumb or finger were pushing in. I don't know if that makes it more clear or confusing, but I hope it helped in some sense. Knowing absolutely nothing about sailing myself, the marble analogy gave me something really concrete to picture in my head. My first time ever in a sailboat was with a girl who got a small one for her birthday. The wind was directly offshore, and we sailed at a good clip out into the ocean towards France. After a while, I said, shouldn't we start heading back? She said, oh no, we have to wait for the wind to turn around. I had to learn the entire art of sailing by trial and error just to get back to shore. It was a very long day. At that point you have to commit and go to France. It doesn't really. Instead it turns to catch the wind as a crosswind. This gives the ship forward momentum, and it turns toward the wind and rides a little. It then turns to catch the crosswinds again, but facing the opposite direction. The final path makes a series of little slaloms. Obsessive parasocial relationships, people whose happiness or life revolves around being a stalker fan to some celebrity. It doesn't click for me. I have my favorite actors, bands, etc., but I know very little about their lives. I just like their art. I don't really care where they live or what their favorite foods are. Celebrity worship and fans are super weird to me. How people can park like they own the county. The worst offenders are those with newer vehicles that come standard with all the cameras and sensors you could possibly need. Nicer ones have a camera in each side mirror and in the front bumper to give a 360-degree top-down view, yet still can't be centered between the lines, or worse, still manage to hit walls or other cars. If you're 16 and have trouble parking grandpa's 1996 pickup, I'll give you a pass. If you're 30-something and drive a Range Rover with all the tech and still can't park properly, your license should be ceremonially burned in public while you get paraded through town wearing a sign saying I can't park. No, the worst offenders are the lil dick pee-pee heads who drive heavy-duty pickups. You want us to be impressed that you drive a miniature semi-truck. Maybe fucking park it to show us you even can. You are right on that. I drove semi for 21 years. I never needed more than 2 spaces to park when bobtailing. If your truck is that big, park it as far away from the building as possible so you are not an obnoxious pig. Motherfuckers who play music or take calls on their phone speaker in a public place. God, I hate that shit. I am no prude and I love my Wu-Tang, but blasting music with offense language on a shitty-ass phone speaker next to a family with young kids is inappropriate. Assuming that everyone around you gives a fuck what you listen to or care where you're meeting people for dinner makes you an absolute prick. I knew a guy who, when our whole group would be watching a movie together, would start watching a video on his phone at full volume. He'd get pissy if anyone called him out on it too. Give him the same treatment. Very rarely does explaining it get through their thick skulls. When he's talking, just blast a video on your phone. They tend to pick up the hint. I blast death metal when I hear some shitty person with their phone on speaker if it's rap or country or rock. Slap them with some Dimmu Borgir or Lamb of God, they tend to understand it then. Yes. This. I had a woman on the bus recently just listening to a radio station full blast on her phone. Ads and everything. I need to travel home and have to stay on the bus, so I can't even walk away from her noise if it was in another public space. Subjecting people to your bullshit for 40 minutes is so unbelievably rude. Start playing death metal on your phone. When people won't hear your side of an argument, or just straight up blame you for something you didn't do. Oh man, one sentence I absolutely despise in an argument. No matter what you say, you won't be able to change my opinion on this. Well then fuck you. I will not keep up the argument since you just told me it's pointless. Funny thing is, they get mad I don't continue arguing with them. Because now they can't win. Well, neither can I, but I am not going to get mad at them for making the whole thing pointless, at least not for them to see. I will be mad they said that, but there is no point in arguing anymore, and that's that. Nah man, I was doing tasks in electrical. Reality TV. It's all about the over-the-top personalities and bickering. People like drama. Especially if it isn't their own. Personally, they make me anxious and I don't enjoy them. I only like things like home renovation or cooking shows. Everyone helps each other out, and there is no high school level drama. Funny story about Australian reality shows in particular, networks here are required to have a certain percentage of their programming made in Australia, so they just pump out low-effort garbage to hit quotas. Which is how we got a TV show that's literally just a YouTube reaction channel. It's just as awful as it sounds. I got addicted to it at some point, but after a few weeks it bored me cause those shows are repetitive, and you never get to see as much drama as they imply that you will before the commercial break. After the break, watch as Bob has a meltdown over Jack's freeze Bob. Ah. Ad break. Bob eats a chip before it cools down Bob. Ah. That's hot. Reaction videos. I could just watch whatever the video is and have my own reaction, instead of looking at a stranger watch it. You'll never get to experience something again for the first time, but watching someone else experience something you love for the first time gives you a taste of that feeling. Sometimes I'll beat a video game that I thought was incredible, most recently Outer Wilds or Return of the Obra Dinn, and immediately after fire up a Let's Play to watch someone else experience it. Do you ever show a friend or so or family member a movie or something you love, and watch them when you get to your favorite parts? Do you ever show a friend or so or family member a movie or something you love, and watch them when you get to your favorite parts? And I die each time when that part is meh or yawn for them. Now you can yell at your TV screen, instead of your loved ones. They're always really over the top too. They never seem like genuine reactions. Personally for me it's more about seeing other people hyped for something I am, especially for movie or TV show or game trailers. It for some reason brings me joy to see other people excited for something I am hyped for. Especially when you're excited for something that everyone else you know doesn't care about, and they make you feel dumb for liking it. It's nice to see someone as excited about that thing as you, even if it is over the internet. People who don't believe in science. How do you think we got modern medicine? Electrical power. Movies, video games, cars, refrigerators, all the modern conveniences. Science exists, it's not something to believe or disbelieve. It's a lack of understanding of what science is and how it works. What they believe in is often some form of dogma, so they just assume all beliefs are their own brand of dogma as well. You hear it all the time, exclaiming all the time scientists have had it wrong in the past. Which is true, but science doesn't shy away from that. On the contrary, it constantly tries to self-correct and fact-check. When a scientist publishes findings, other scientists in the field begin experimenting independently, not to prove him or her right or wrong, but to verify the accuracy of the findings. If they can't, they are going to publish that. But somehow they just have this vague notion that somewhere some ambiguous scientists are making these grand decrees and announcing them to the world, and that the rest of us are just taking it on faith, rather than the reality and confidence. Because that's more or less how their system works. As a great Irishman once said, "Science knows it doesn't know everything. If it thought it knew everything, it'd stop." When you met a grown adult who has had schooling but still does not believe in germ theory. This with a pinch of some concepts being difficult to dumb down without being inaccurate, so a lot of stuff we teach kids is more about getting the concept across than being technically accurate, e.g. stars are like big balls of fire in space gets the point across better to 8-year-olds than talking about nuclear reactions. When someone learns the kid version of science, then later learns about something that contradicts it, space is a vacuum, fire can't burn in a vacuum, it's taken as see, not everything as they tell us is true, rather than maybe I don't understand enough about this. I believe Neil deGrasse Tyson said something along the lines of the wonderful thing about science is that whether you believe in it or not, it's true. They always believe to a certain point is what kills me. Sure, they'll believe somebody understood chemistry well enough to create a battery, and come up with long-lasting foundation in just the shade you want without poisoning you. But good lord, science beyond that. Preposterous. People who like to take pictures of themselves to post. I think I am a good-looking guy but still feel uncomfortable being like, look at me. I have a co-worker who I thought was reposting the same selfie 3 times a week. But she actually retakes it each time, always wearing the same low-cut blue top, composed so that cleavage is 3 or 5 ths of the frame, always with her head posed the same way, always edited and filtered to the point her face looks two-dimensional. Captioned with something like confidence is cute. And if you scroll you see she's been posting it for 5+ years. That has to be a joke then. Once in a while I can accept, but people who literally take selfies every single day absolutely baffle me. I have a friend who is otherwise really sweet and kind, but she takes minimum 1 to 2 selfies every single day and posts to social media. They are not even interesting or varied, always just a close-up of her doing unintentional duck face sitting on her couch. I can't reconcile that this is the same person I know with the relentless selfies she posts. It drives me fucking crazy. How many times do you need your social circle to see your pores in a day? I once heard someone say that people's social media is often the closest you can get to viewing life through someone's eyes, and if someone's timeline is full of pictures of themselves then you can guess where their attention is. Gender reveals. WTF4. Why not just tell people at the baby shower? I hate this copycat society that we've become, chasing fucking likes on Instagram from people we don't know, and just the general fucking attention seeking. No one cares about your pink or blue kid, Sarah. I will say that the person credited with the invention of the gender reveal party did it partially as a celebration because, after several miscarriages, she finally had a pregnancy that progressed far enough to even figure out the sex of the baby. Source. Personally, I wouldn't fault anyone for having what is essentially a celebration of a viable pregnancy after multiple losses, though it's definitely turned into an overdone celebration that plays into outdated gender stereotypes. My friend said if they were having a baby they would like to hold a gender reveal party, and when they cut into the cake to see if the inside is pink or blue, the cake is just gray, and so it's like, surprise. We're having a human, and just go get another beer, lol. Gray cake. Why not just make it a regular cake? The reaction to a gray cake at a gender reveal party sounds hilarious, honestly. All of California hates gender reveals right now, lol. Science deniers. Includes COVID deniers, climate change deniers, vaccine deniers, flat earthers. I just don't understand how you get to that point. I really don't. I recommend the video Bending Truth: How Adults Get Indoctrinated by Theremin Trees. Essentially, our minds are networks of ideas striving for internal consistency. If a wrong idea slips past your criticism and manages to integrate itself into your network, it can have a small effect on the rest of your network, making you a little bit more receptive to similar ideas. When you find out a little bit more, your idea network changes a little bit more. After a while, your whole network is changed and starts to reject accurate information. Planting the seed often happens in the form of a small commitment. For instance, you might read a Reddit comment. That Reddit comment might direct you towards a video. If you watch the video, you have spent roughly half an hour of your time. This might produce 2 ideas: I don't care about this topic, and I have spent half an hour of my time learning about this topic. There are many ways to resolve this conflict, but sometimes it gets resolved to I do care about this topic. Now you care a little bit, so you learn a little bit more, and that commits you to learning a little bit more. If you don't break this commitment cycle, your whole worldview can change to line up with the wrong information, and you start rejecting the truth. Now, I have posted a Reddit comment, linking to a half-hour video, but I promise I am not trying to indoctrinate you. Me too. Sometimes I think that people assume stubbornness is a sign of strength. Like if they just keep rejecting something they will defeat it. How people can forgive cheating in a relationship. To add to this, how people can cheat in a relationship. I can't get one person to want to be with me, and you got two. If you're the type of person that can get one person to sleep with you, then you might be the type of person that can get two. There's a bigger gap between being the person that can get zero, and the person that can get one than there is between getting one and two. Cheating. Fuck cheating. Let's talk polyamory. I know one girl who's dating 3 guys, they're all living in the same house, and they're having the most loving, caring, wonderful relationship I have ever seen. And here I am, not being able even to date. Good polyamory practices bleed over into other facets of the relationship. You are pretty much communicating your feelings all of the time, which helps nip problems in the bud. And to add to this, if you can't talk to your monogamous partner, opening the relationship or being poly isn't going to help you. If anything, it will make it worse. Not forget, you better not. But forgive. As in, I hold no grudge against you, but still walk away from the betrayal. Fair enough. I should have said more along the lines of take back a cheater thinking face. It's really, really hard to let people you love go sometimes. No matter what they do to you, whether they still love you back or not, it hurts to lose them because your brain wants to see the best in people. Love has a way of fucking you up. Makes you do stuff you wouldn't normally do. But to love someone enough to forgive them, that I cannot see. I have never been cheated on that I am aware of, but if I was, I like to say, I would just pack my shit and leave. Don't even give her a chance to explain, because there is no explanation for it. At least that's how it plays out in my head. Same. Trust would be gone for me, and I just wouldn't be able to be the same with them. Why everyone loses their shit every time Beyoncé so much as breathes. I think she is so overrated. She plays the media and everything she does is for publicity. She doesn't care about the fans or even the music, she just cares about exposure and the mighty dollar. I can pinpoint the minute I started actually disliking her. When she had Blue the golden child, and her security stopped other parents from coming into the floor where their children were. She actively stopped parents being with their newborn babies because she thinks she is so fucking special that she needs to control everything. Sorry. No. You sing. That's all. You act badly. That's all. You married the best person to further your career. BFD. Standard edit. Thank you for my awards. My first gold. I totally feel like standing on a stage with no pants on, cradling my belly, and looking expectantly at the audience like I am announcing the second coming of Jesus, rolling on the floor laughing. You'd get fucking demolished on Twitter for saying something like this, LOL. I agree 100%. Yes. Thank you. I also hate how she's held up as this mighty representative of what it is to be a woman and a queen. Fuck off with that. Why is acting like a monarch even seen as a good thing? Do not get me started on Bey. I have been a DC fan since they started. But even at the start she always graded me because she always stood in the middle and had the best clothes. All because mom and dad managed the band. It was her vanity project from the very beginning. Whoever had anything to say got booted out right away. The whole Queen Bey movement makes me want to vom. As Dionne Warwick said, look, I am sure she is a wonderful singer, but a queen she is not, something along those lines, don't quote me verbatim. My favorite Beyoncé story. Web address. Stopped parents from. What? Blood did not flow. I cannot image that blood did not flow. Web address. Huh. What fantastically trashy behavior. Thanks, 27. Yeah, as a mom who has had a preemie in the NICU, you could not have kept me from my baby, no matter how famous and important you thought you were. Just entitled and ridiculous behavior. That's so fucked up. I think she's talented, but the whole queen and goddess thing is way over the top. She's a singer, everyone, chill out. I think the reason I don't care for her is because I associate her with her crazy fanbase. Don't you love it when fanbases are so bad they ruin the actual thing, or band or artist for you? Same with the Kardashians. Wow. You are still with us. Thanks for being such a nice person. As long as you are here, why not like this video and subscribe to our channel? Also, you can press the bell icon, so you won't miss any future uploads.